everybody and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I would like to share with you an unboxing of the Caran Luminance colored pencils. I can't even believe it's happening. Like, I just can't even believe it. Now, they are shrink wrapped right now. That's why you can see my reflection in the shrink wrap. They just came in. They literally just came in the mail. And I'm really excited to share them with you. So let me go ahead and take the shrink wrap off. Oh, I did want to show you though, that when you get these pencils, they are completely wrapped in shrink film. So if you were curious about that, I wanted you to know that. All right, so I took off the shrink wrap, but I haven't opened them yet. I wanted to share the moment with you guys together on camera. I'm excited. Now, before anybody leaves my video a thumbs down and leaves a mean comment saying, oh no, you can't do a review from just unboxing, I'm not. This is just an unboxing video. It is not a review. I will do a full review down the road later on, and I'll probably be comparing these to the derwent lightfast pencils and maybe the polychromos in videos coming up. So be sure to stick around for that. But this is just an unboxing video. I just got these in the mail. They were a gift to myself. I'm excited and I wanted to share the moment with you. So give me a thumbs up and subscribe so you won't miss more videos. And here we are. So this is the 76 set. This was the full range until they expanded to 100 colors, which they did that by adding on a set of 20, so the portrait assortment, and then there was 4 open stock pencils. I don't know why they couldn't just give you the 24 in the portrait set, but whatever. So I have 98 now of the 100 colors. I chose the dark phthalo green and the natural russet. I had to have that dark phthalo green from the pictures online. There are 2 more colors that I don't have, a dark flesh 5% and a very dark flesh, which is like it's basically like a brown, and they looked really samey and similar to other colors that were already in this set. So they were out of stock and I didn't worry about grabbing them from another supplier just so that I could complete my set, but I'm happy that I got these 2. So like I said, I have 98 of the 100 colors. Now, oh, I'm so excited. I saw pictures of these online. A while ago, I got the derwent lightfast pencils. It was a choice between these and those, and I can only imagine that's why they expanded the Caran range, because those had come out and had 100 colors. And I won't say that I regret getting the lightfast over these. I really don't. I recently did a lightfast, derwent lightfast pencil review on my channel, so I'll leave that linked up if you're interested. But I'm excited to try these. I'm really excited to try these. So here is the 20 portrait set. Now, judging by the colors, I can't say honestly that I think it's a portrait assortment, but let's open it together. Oh my gosh. Oh wow. Okay. So look at that nice high density foam. Look at that. These are some wonderfully packaged pencils. Oh, a couple of them slid up there. Okay. Okay, now right off the bat, I did notice this one, which is called Medium Cadmium Yellow Imitation. There's some defects with this one. I can see that this is cracked. This pencil is cracked. So that's kind of disappointing for the price point, and there's some just little cosmetic imperfections on the cap of that one, but otherwise they look good. Look at this color! This one was one of the ones I was most excited about. I can't even begin to read or pronounce that. That's the one thing about these pencils that I can already say I like derwent lightfast better than. The name, the color name, and the number is written so tiny up there. But this is number 671. I was really excited about that. I also liked these natural greens. There's some really pretty portrait colors. I mean, there is some earth, like portrait tones in here, but there's also some colors that just filled in the gaps to the other pencils. So I'm really excited. If I haven't mentioned already, and I might not have, wow, I'm sorry. I'm just experiencing the moment live for you guys right this moment. They do have the color chart here with all the lightfast information. Everything here is a lightfast 1 or 2, and I do believe, I remember seeing somewhere on Jerry's website, which is where I got mine from, that I think more than 85% of them are a lightfast of 1. So more lightfast 1s than 2s, so that's really, really great to see. And there's pigment information. It's not on here or on the pencils, but Caran website does have a color chart with pigment information for all of these, and I have to say that persuaded me to buy these. Now, I was a little bit concerned. One of the reasons I held off on these for so long, because a lot of people had told me that they were like a more lightfast version of Prismacolor. I like Prismacolor pencils, but they are a bit too soft most of the time for how I like to work, so we'll have to see. Here is the 76 box. It's a nice matte black cardboard-like box, but it doesn't feel cheap at all. Usually color pencils come with it in a tin, but these don't. But this is definitely a nice sturdy box. And I ordinarily don't like to keep my pencils in their storage containers, like in their tins. I'll usually, oh, that's very strange. I will usually put them, I'm sorry, in like a caddy on my desk so I can see them and reach for them. But I do think the storage is really nice. Was that velvet? I guess that's velvet, those little tabs. The reason why I said that was kind of strange is because the colors are organized a little bit differently than what I'm accustomed to. I usually see this go the opposite way, like yellows, reds to blues, greens, but that's totally fine. Oh, and then these kind of go the other way too. Oh well, so here they are. I have like little velvet tabs. They're all in their little cushion really well, and then there's more of that foam under here. I'm a little nervous to flip the pencil, so I don't want to do that. But there's one tray. This is really nice packaging. It's not about the packaging, but this is really nice. I prefer this packaging to the 100 wood box set that I got of the Derwent Lightfast, which I'm not using that wood box set anymore, but these are cushioned really well. And honestly, I think I'm going to keep all these pencils in their boxes. Now, it does come with these two blender pencil things. I'm going to pop these out and put them somewhere else. I don't even know if I'm going to use them, but I'll just very cleverly and very sneakily put my two open stock right in their place so that everything will be together. So I'll have 98 of the 100 pencils stored and put away. And then these are what? These are like, it just says full blender, bright. I don't know. I'll just put these in this little box that my open stock pencils came in. And then they've got this very interesting, now these do seem, this set, the 76 set, really does seem more geared towards portraiture. Like this whole row, when I was looking at pictures online, really caught my attention. And look at the lavenders and the pinks and the purples. You guys, the purples really got me. Like it really did. So I'm really excited. Let me see about some of these now. I don't see any more splits or cracks in any of these pencils. Now, oh, let me tell you. Right now, the prices are decent on these pencils. They've come down a little bit, and I think part of that is because Derwent Lightfast provided some competition. I could be wrong, but I do think that's part of it. These pencils were $174.99, and that's not cheap by any means. They are currently that price on Jerry's. Not cheap by any means, but I've seen them on that website go for as high as like $250. So it is a pretty decent value. I'm sorry, really loud trucks and motorcycles keep going by today while I'm trying to film. And then they have the 20 set on sale right now for $49.99 on Jerry's, but not the portrait set. Very cleverly, they're not going to give you a value on that one because they know that that's the set people want to complete their set. So, oh, I want to do some swatches. Let's do that next. Okay, so I don't know at what point I'm going to insert this footage into the video, probably somewhere relatively early on. It has been a couple of days since I initially filmed that unboxing video, and I've had a chance to kind of play around with them and complete the swatch chart, and I have some initial thoughts I'd like to insert into the video. So again, this is just absolutely an unboxing first impressions, definitely not a review, but there are some things that I already would like to say. So I have all the colors here except for two. I'm missing 741 Warm Earth 5% and 748 Dark Flesh. So at some point I may or may not complete my collection. These first 5 shades here up on the top I did on some gray, toned gray paper, just so I'd be able to see the colors more true. I had tried doing like a strip of black ink, but that didn't quite work out, so I did it this way. I also went ahead and put these in the order that the Caran website has these in. So the color selection is really beautiful. Some of my initial thoughts would have to be just smooth. Smooth, smooth, smooth. The color is so smooth. The laydown is so creamy. I've heard people compare these to Prismacolor, and I definitely see that comparison. I understand that, I really do. I think that they're nearly as soft as a Prismacolor. They're moving in that direction, but they have a different feel. They definitely have their own unique, distinct feel. And when I swatch these side by side with Prismacolor, I feel like Prismacolors are a little bit almost greasy feeling on the top, like very slippery compared to these. I think this formula allows for a little bit more layering, certainly. So this color selection is really unique. Some really unique colors in here. I'm really pleased to see some fun kind of pastel tones even in here. The purples are gorgeous. We have violet up here. We have some beautiful purples down in here in this section. They're just gorgeous. I mean, I love this color selection, and I think the Derwent Lightfast really complement these well. So I'll just kind of bring some of those in. I keep this in like a glassine, a crystal clear archival safe bag, so I'll tilt it up a little bit to get rid of the glare. But see how some of these really dark purples, if you have these, I really recommend you get shades like Nightshade, Violet, maybe Dark Denim, you know, some of these darker shades definitely to fill in. I feel like it's a little bit light on greens, to be honest. That's one place. And maybe if I'm being really nitpicky, maybe it's a little light on grays. I think it's pretty typical though for a set like this, but certainly if grays are your color palette and you like to use them a lot, Prismacolor I think owns the monopoly on grays. And I'm certain that most, if not all of those are actually lightfast. So comparing the color palette now to Polychromos by Faber-Castell. Here is my original 72 set of Prismacolor. You can see I wasn't happy with how many of these shades weren't light fast. Only 36 of the 72 colors were deemed light fast, but just comparatively, I do kind of understand the comparison to these. Here is Derwent Coloursoft pencils, which these feel, I think, similar to in some ways, but these almost look grainy like a crayon, these Coloursoft pencils, and these don't look like that. I definitely like the Luminance a lot better than Derwent Coloursoft. And then I'd gotten some more. I have like the 150 set of the Prismacolor. So I will say, so far I really am enjoying these. I think the Derwent Lightfast colored pencils do blend a little bit better just on their own without the use of solvents or additional mediums to help aid with the blending. I think that the Derwent Lightfast do blend a bit better than these, but with solvents or with like the colorless blender powder from Brush and Pencil, they're beautiful. They blend just fine. One thing that you need to take note of, and I don't think this was mentioned enough in other reviews, because I looked up a lot of reviews on these before I invested, and I suggest you do the same. You know, not just my opinion, you know, get a lot of artists' opinion so that you can kind of form your own. But one thing I think was not stressed enough was just how many crumbs, and more crumbs come off these pencils. And I mean about as much as pastel pencils, honestly. I was shocked how many crumbs while I was doing these color swatches. Now, only you know what you can handle. For me, coming from the perspective of a pastel artist, because you know, I'm an artist that works across many different mediums, and one of my most beloved mediums is soft pastel. So I'm used to the crumbs, I'm used to the mess. It's not a big deal for me, but that could easily be a deal breaker for some of you, especially if you're choosing colored pencils perhaps over pastels or pastel pencils because you can't handle the crumbs, and that's going to be a personal choice, and it's totally up to you. It doesn't bother me, but it might bother you. Now there are 3 genuine cobalt colors here, 661, 662, and this cobalt green 182. So cobalt can be toxic through skin contact and highly toxic through inhalation. I don't personally think there's enough contact with colored pencils to really worry about it, but I'm not offering anybody advice. I'm just saying for me, that's how I feel about it. However, the crumb issue with these, there's so many crumbs, it is going to increase the exposure to it. So definitely don't blow the dust or blow the crumbs up into the air. You don't want to breathe cobalt. If that's something that bothers you, you know, it's just 3 shades in here. You could pluck those out if you didn't want to, or just leave them sit there, give them to a friend or whatever. Again, it's not going to stop me from using them, but I would take it into consideration. I want you to have the information so you can make an informed choice. But so far, I do have to say I'm very pleased with these. I think they're beautiful. I feel very blessed to have them. I'm really excited to use them, and I'm already planning a drawing. And much later down the road, I will do a review. So let's get back to the rest of the first impressions video. All right, so I ran and grabbed from my collection a kind of scarlet red pencil from each of these more premium artist grade pencils that I have. I could, I guess, grab a Prismacolor, but I'm not really interested, I guess. So since I don't consider them artist grade, just to be honest. So here is derwent lightfasts. Here is the polychromos faber castell, and here's the Luminance. Now the derwent lightfast and the Luminance I trust the light fastness of completely. I'm gonna do my own testing on the faber castell. If you have done your own light fast testing on Faber Castell's polychromos, leave me comments in the description box, in the comment section down below. Let me know what your experience has been. Did they hold up? Did they stand true to these star ratings? Because I've been hearing some things that makes me suspect it might not be true. Now, all these colors aren't going to match exactly, but that's not the point. The point is just, you know, I mean, I've got it as close as I can, but it's more about comparing textures. So here's derwent lightfast, and they're all freshly sharpened. I just want to do like a little bit there, an even application. Polychromos. Polychromos is definitely harder. Now I like polychromos a lot. They're some of my favorite pencils, and they really do great detail work. As you can see, they're a little bit harder and maybe not as much pigment. Here's the Luminance. This is how it came fresh out of the box. And if I'm silent, it's just because I'm kind of thinking, I'm considering the feel. Okay, so I think between the derwent lightfast and the Luminance, or Luminance, yeah, the Luminance feel a little bit more slippery. Not in a bad way. They feel, I think, yeah, they're softer. They're a little bit softer. Now, derwent lightfast is claiming to be an oil base. No, I don't think so. I think they're closer to wax than oil. Every pencil is some combination of oil and wax, so keep that in mind. Caran is definitely a true wax-based pencil. Yeah, as I go over, it feels more slippery. But I'm happy to report I don't see like a greasy layer or a bloomy layer on the top, so that's nice. Yeah, and then the obviously this one is the hardest, but it maintains a sharp point for good details. And because these are kind of more transparent, they build up a lot of luminosity and they really glow like a watercolor painting. But these two so far are probably the most comparable, but definitely a softer feel to the Luminance. You know what? I lied. I'm gonna go and get a Prismacolor and put it next to it and compare. Okay, so I grabbed Prismacolor Poppy Red, just sharpened it up fresh. And I don't feel like the Prismacolor is even in the same league with the other pencils mentioned, just because in my mind these really are more of a student grade pencil. Now, a lot of the time you can get these for around 90 cents a pencil. They have definitely issues where there's quality control with how they're made, and they're not light fast. So I don't care what claims they slap on their box in terms of professional quality, blah, blah, blah. We've talked about this in videos in the past. The art material industry is so grossly unregulated that you can make any claim you want and nobody's holding you accountable. There's just not any legal definitions for these terms like artist grade, student grade, professional grade, and so companies are free to use them how they wish. To me, artist grade means it has to be lightfast, archival safe, you know, museum and gallery compliant, those type of things. Okay, so how does the feel compared to Prisma? Oh, this is tough. They're not as soft as the Prismacolor, thank goodness. But maybe around the same feel. But the Prismacolor has, if you could see the shine, if I move it in the light, you see the shine on the Prisma? Quite a bit more shine on that Prismacolor. Whatever they're doing with the Luminance formula kind of cuts down on that. It feels a little bit drier and not as waxy. And so even when I look at the tips, if you see me rolling this in the light, it's because even the tip of the Prismacolor is very shiny glossy, and this one is more of a demi matte, which is good. So let me just do that one more time. I just want to, yeah, that definitely feels, and yet the pigment is readily available from both in a very similar way in terms of softness. Like, you know, there's the pigment, boom, with the Lumi. And here's the pigment, boom, with the Prismacolor. But the Prismacolor is softer. The Prismacolors are almost too soft and a little bit more waxy. I like Prismacolor for what they are. Please don't misunderstand me. I'm not trying to bash Prismacolor. But these feel like I can definitely not get as many layers with Prismacolor as I can get with other pencils. These feel like I could get more layers because they're not so slippery and shiny. And the surface really, I don't know how well that'll show up on camera. See that? It's shiny and slippery and slick, the Prismacolor. This doesn't have that as much. So I feel like it's most comparable probably to the Derwent Lightfast, but they still have a different feel from those. Even Derwent Lightfast is a little more shiny than these, if that matters to you. Alright, so in this little circle, I went ahead and I applied the colored pencil powder blender. I don't know how well this is going to work, to be completely honest, because this product really works better for oil-based colored pencils, but I just had to give it a try. So I'm going to do like a yellow to red, yellow to orange to red blend gradient, and we can see the result with that because I have the Derwent Lightfast blended here in various ways. So I'm going to try this, and I'm going to go ahead and just do the blend and then come back so I don't waste your time. Alright, so that worked great. I have to say it worked great. I wasn't anticipating it would work that well since it's a wax-based pencil. The Prismacolors don't really work so good with this powder blender technique, but this worked great. I got the blend quick and I got it efficient with no hand pain, no hand strength issues. My shoulder feels good. I feel good about it. I used permanent red to cornelian, orange, and bismuth, golden bismuth yellow. And I probably could have honestly spent a little bit more time even smoothing that out if I wanted to, but yeah, I didn't think it was necessary for a little test. I didn't move any of the crumbs so you could kind of see. And there's a little shine, but I think a little bit of pastel or pencil fixative, excuse me, would take care of that. You can definitely brush it away with a little brush or something. I wouldn't use your hand because you will smear the pigment, but yeah, so far, I mean, so far I'm decently happy with them, but this is just a first impressions. It's definitely not a full review. I have to spend more time working with them. So right off the bat, my first impressions, just to sum it up, I'm really impressed with the light fastness of these pencils. They are really soft and creamy. I mean, just from that one little experimentation, the tips melted down pretty decently, so you have to like a softer pencil, you know, and not everybody does, and that's okay. It's personal preference, but you have to like a softer pencil. I'd say if you like more of an oil-based color pencil, you know who you are. If you like polychromos, you might not like these. If you don't like Prismacolor, you probably won't like these. Not the quality control issues with Prismacolor. I'm talking about just the softness of them, because these are borderlining on that soft. They're going in that direction, certainly, but they don't have as much shine to them. I'd say if you want something in between, a texture that's slightly in between, go with the Derwent Lightfast, because they're just a nice happy medium. And I really like these Derwent Lightfast pencils, I have to say. They really are really nice. They're somewhere, I think, in between, texture-wise, between these Luminance and the polychromos. But I think they look on the paper a whole heck of a lot like each other, but without the crumbs. That's going to be another deal breaker for some people. It's not for me, but it could be for you. Let me tell you this too. These trays are nice and light. Let me zoom out. Sorry. These trays, the box, are pretty light. You know, I was almost shocked when I received this in the mail. For such a large collection of pencils, this is light weight, which is good. That's a good thing, not a bad thing, because for storage, I can set this on top of other boxes I have, and I'm not worrying about it so much. So that's really nice. I definitely have to play around with these some more. I'm really glad that they work with my favorite color pencil blender. Should we, just before I go, do you want me to dissolve one with some odorless mineral spirits just so that you can see that? Should I do that before we go? I guess I'll do that real quick before we go. All right, so I have a little dish here with a small amount of solvent in it. Let me see. I'll just pick a little bit of that up. And let's see, which one? Let me try and blend this one. See how they react to solvent. Yeah, I think they blend fine with solvent, but I don't think they blend especially any better than any other pencil with solvent. They don't move that much, actually. Didn't think they moved that much. Let me see. What else do we have here? Let me clean the brush off because there's going to be red on it now. And I didn't use a ton of solvent. Let's try and really move the color. I mean, like, really move it. And of course I got to do one that I haven't used the blender on. Yeah, I mean, look, that's not moving that much. See that? It's not moving as much as some other pencils. But if I take, for example, one that I'm certain is the Derwent. I think it's this one, right? Was it this one or this one? Oh, I don't know. We'll know immediately when I start to dissolve it. This one's the Derwent. See how much more it moves? With the solvent. And this one is the... Yeah, that one is the... like the Luminance, I'd imagine. I mean, it's moving. Don't get me wrong, it's moving, but I can tell it's not moving quite as much. But it could be the paper I'm working on, too. Who knows? Who knows? They blend fine with solvent. I'm not saying they don't blend with solvent. They're fine. Anyway, that's it for today's video. Thank you for putting up with me for my unboxing video through all the ups and downs and the excitement. I've got a lot of experimentation to do, but I'm definitely going to do a couple drawings with these really soon. I can't wait to swatch them all out and do the color chart, and I'll have all that prepared for the full review, of course. Leave me some comments what you think of these pencils. Are you interested in like a swatch with me kind of video, or is that a waste of everybody's time? It probably is. Not gonna lie, it probably is. But give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.